Now we pivot on over to the Northwoods League, where it was a battle of the Great Plains East Division. The Rochester Honkers welcome back to Duluth after splitting with the Huskies just a few weeks ago. An early afternoon game right at the noon o'clock hour, so we go to game one of this doubleheader day, beginning in the bottom of the second. Huskies with a big mountain to climb, down 5-zip, but Callan Halverson gets the bats rolling. We like the sound of that. Halverson wheeling around second. He might lose his hat, but he gets the triple, and that was just what the Huskies needed. Very next batter, just a little base hit needed from Caleb Corbin. He gets the job done. An RBI single, and Halverson brings in the Huskies' first run of the day. They trail 5-1 now. Bottom of the three, Huskies with 2 on. Corbin taking this one to deep center. Halverson comes home again. The Huskies make it a 1-run ball game. They'd add another, but the Honkers remain solid, taking game one 8-5. Huskies had a shot at redemption tonight, and they got it. Got the win 3-1.